Epic Thulu, how you doing, brother? Yeah, I hope this is working. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, it's working. How you doing, bro? Goko Monsod, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very happy to have you. Roaming Fire Bat, how you doing, fam? I'm doing good. Just need to do some sit-up shit. Doing good. Got a cup of coffee in my hands. Once more. Epic Thulu, here's my coffee. So I feel you, I feel you, fam. I know exactly what you're going through. uh, what do I need to do? Oh yeah. Do I want to make thumbnails? Do I need to make thumbnails? This is big questions, boys. Big questions. I'll show you what I'm busy with, so you can follow along. Coffee, then Saturday morning cleaning, then some BFA completion. Hope all is well today. Yeah, well, I'm doing fucking great. Regardless of the fact that I completely fucking ruined my days and my entire week was thrown off, and turns out there was no LEC last night, so I ended the stream for no fucking reason whatsoever. But then I thought, well, I'll go to the beach anyways, just go hang out, touch a bit of grass, as they say, as the kids say. I'm down with the kids. So everything's just been weird. I don't know. Everything's just been very weird, all over the place. Life doesn't make a lot of sense to me, at least not at the moment. I don't know. It's fucking strange. Yeah. Roaming Firebat, oof is the right word. It's the exact way you need to respond to that. Oof. That's how I feel at the minute. I was worried we wasn't going to have a stream to discuss the tier list drama and draw a neat conclusion for a moment there. Reconcile, how you doing, bro? Yeah. We will be discussing it. Don't worry. I will, dude. Like, I would leave you guys hanging. Something that juicy, like, get fucked. Like, I would ever do that to you guys. Come on. Don't disrespect me like that, man. Don't fucking disrespect me like that, man. I love you guys too much for that. But I would never let you guys, like, form your own opinions. Like, holy shit, what do you take me for? I'm not some fucking, absent father figure. I'm here for you guys. I'm gonna help you guys through this. I'm gonna tell you exactly what the right way is to think about this, so that you can have the right opinions going forward in life. Watch your video on Diablo 4, failing bad. Pringles, yeah, that was a fun react. Am I happy with this? Is this about the amount of work that I'm willing to put into this thumbnail? Would this thumbnail be better with my face added to it, or is this good enough? Let's do this. Hold up. I have an idea. See, now it feels unbalanced. Now it feels unbalanced. Because why is there nothing on the other side of this? hard to pull a moist critical. Dude, the only reason I want to pull a moist critical is it would be lovely. Like, I mean fucking lovely if I could put that little effort into making a thumbnail and still get views. Like, it would be so lovely if all I had to do was just like whatever, right? Doesn't matter. This is your thumbnail. It's definitely a lot more fun. I wonder what happens if we move her just a tad to the side. We could get her there. Does that fill it up enough? Or Zainful, how you doing? Throw a dick on the other side. YouTube would instantly not like that. And I'm already on thin ice with YouTube. I fucking hate making thumbnails, bro. Yeah, let's do this. Fuck it. I'm just gonna like stop overthinking it. Just do it. Just go with it. Like that, and then maybe sandwich her between two of your faces. Like, did I think that would be too much of my face? Like, maybe the offset, like the fact that it feels unbalanced, pulls people's faces towards the thumbnail and like, ooh, I need to click. What is he talking about? The kids are all right? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Who died, bro? And then he goes, oh, I need to go watch that. Let's go watch that. Okay. So now we have to... Don't allow. Do not publish to subscription feed and do not notify subscribers. Elaine, how you doing? Oh yeah, by the way, you guys will see, like, you will be notified of very few of my videos in the future. Just a small little FYI for those of you that may be wondering. Elodie, how you doing, bro? Fellow olive farmers, Wakikaki, how you doing, brother? Hey, Big Thulu, yeah, that's what I'm shooting for. LEC is the League of Legends European Championships. And it is my sport. Pretty sure I did say dick a couple of times in that rant, so adult content is in there. Was I violent? Maybe I was a little violent, so we'll add that in there as well. It was definitely controversial and maybe sensitive to some viewers, so fuck it. There you go. YouTube, don't demonetize my video, please. Now watch this video be demonetized. Oh, shit. Yeah, bitch. Fuck yeah. It's not demonetized. Like, look at that. Doesn't it look beautiful? You know, when it's not demonetized like that, like, don't you just love that? And when it's a nice little green symbol. That was Six Nations rugby for me, and we got Irish, Sag. Doing great, feels good to be unemployed again. Elodie, what the fuck happened? Why are you unemployed again? What went wrong, bro? Yeah, but this one got hit with the demonetization. Sag. I quit to move to Texas. Oh, shit. And how's Texas treating you, fam? What's it like being a cowboy now? I mean, no. I mean, dude, if I didn't want you to bother me, I would not be streaming. And if you're asking me questions about stuff that I don't want to talk about, I'll just tell you. I don't want to talk about this now. What do I think about the situation between Asmon and Vosh? I mean, I pretty much shared my opinion in the video right there on your screen right now, you know? But yeah, I don't like Vosh. I think people like Vosh are incredibly dangerous. And I think people like Vosh create an incredibly dangerous situation. Because here's the issue for someone like Vosh. Vosh openly calls for war against conservatives. Like, he openly says that conservatives need to die. Well, here's your problem, Vosh. Who has all of the guns? The conservatives. If a civil war between conservatives and liberals broke out, the liberals would be wiped off the fucking map. It would probably take less than a week for the conservatives to just literally kill all the liberals. It would be shit, but that is what would happen. And what pisses me off about guys like Vosh is when the first... But we have this in South Africa as well. When those first bullets start flying, Vosh will be the first person to fuck off as quickly as possible. Like, he will be in the front of the queue, running away from the action. Do you really think Vosh, the guy that sits in his bedroom all day fucking live streaming and pretending to be a socialist, do you really think he's going to be involved in the war? No. He's telling his viewers to do something that he himself would never actually do. Because he knows he would get his ass handed to him. Like, let Vosh walk into Texas, into any random bar in Texas and scream at the top of his lungs, "Fuck all you conservatives, we're coming for you." He'll be shot, like, instantly. Like, they don't even have to shoot him. They'll beat him up. Have you seen what he looks like? Like, he would just fall over. I mean, that's the end of it. Like, the dude doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And he's using the stupidity of his audience, because his audience is just fucking stupid. He's using the stupidity of his audience because most of his audience went through the American education system. So, you know, they have no real reference to real life. And as a result of that, they just think that whatever the fuck Vosh is saying is the truth. And that's why he has an audience. Like, here's the thing with Vosh that you need to remember. It's like, it is a skill, but it's not a useful skill. What people like Vosh have is the ability to make seemingly unimportant things sound incredibly profound, right? So Vosh will use very big words. He will use English words that isn't really in the normal language. People don't really speak like that in everyday terms. And he'll use those terms as a way of making himself sound extremely profound. Like, oh, he is such an intellectual powerhouse. But when you actually listen to what he's saying, through all the fluff, it's nonsense. It's like complete nonsense. The dude doesn't know what he's talking about. But because he's using big words, it convinces people. Because people like big words. People think big words make you smart. You know? And it doesn't really. It just means you read a lot of things and maybe you look up what the words mean so that you can use them in the future. It doesn't mean that you understand the concepts or that you even understand how to infer your way to it or defer your way from it. It just means that you sort of know what the big words are and how they roughly fit into your language. I have no time for people like Vosh. I think fundamentally the dude is just a fucking joke. Digital Fox, the problem is that that's most of the left and the right. Like, make no fucking mistake. All of these right-wingers, right, that have all of these YouTube channels and they drink the leftist tears. When the first bullets fly, Do you truly believe that Ben Shapiro is going to be in the fucking trenches next to you? Like, do you actually think Ben Shapiro is going to have his little fucking Yamakon and his AK-47 or his AR-15 right there next to you going, "Sup, buddy? Let's kill some liberals"? Of course not. Like, of fucking course not. He's not going to be there. He's going to be fucked off on a plane to somewhere where there's no fight. Right? It's the same with Hassan. It's the same with Vosh. It's the same with all of these left-wingers, all of the right-wingers on the fucking news and on the telly and on YouTube. They will be the first people out of the country when the first bullets start flying. Because it's a grift. All of these guys are in it for the money. Believe me, I love when these fucking like left and right-wing commentators talk about how them talking is making a difference. It's like, to who? Dude, you guys are talking to your own fucking audience. Like, you're literally talking to your own little echo chamber. Like, you're not convincing anyone. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's imagine there is a liberal out there that decides, you know what, I wanna understand the right-wing conservative. Let me go watch Ben Shapiro's show. And Ben Shapiro picks up a mug, and on the mug it says, "Drinking left-wing tears." How long do you think the left-winger is going to remain open-minded after seeing that? Like, how long? How long do you imagine the left-winger that came in to try and understand the conservative perspective remains open-minded enough to actually listen to what Ben Shapiro has to say? Because Ben Shapiro makes a lot of good points about a lot of things. He has some fucked up opinions too, but that's pretty much universal. When humans speak, they do some fucked up shit along with some intelligent shit every once in a while, right? But it pretty much closes the avenue to any debate instantly when you have a cup that says "drinking leftist tears." And when someone like Vosh screams about killing conservatives, how long do you think a conservative keeps an open mind? Like, I don't know if you should keep an open mind listening to people like Vosh, but like every once in a while, Vosh will also have a relatively decent opinion. I don't always agree. Like, here's the thing. Vosh is sometimes very good at pointing out problems within society. He's not very good with the solutions. So even there, I would say you should probably listen to Vosh and people like Hassan, because they can roughly, like, this is the problem with Karl Marx as well, right? Karl Marx was very good at least highlighting the problems with capitalism. His solutions is where things went completely off the fucking rails. And you're like, I don't know if we should do that, fam. This seems like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But never mind that, right? It's very good to read Karl Marx, because Karl Marx had some incredibly profound criticisms of capitalism, which is worth reading, because this is exactly where we ended up. Karl Marx was afraid that the rich and the government was sort of going to get involved with each other, and then they were going to use that relationship to clobber the poor over the head. Almost like what we spoke about yesterday, right? With corporatism. The issue that Karl Marx could never understand was that the issue is government, right? That's the issue. It doesn't matter if you think that this is why I don't agree with conservatives when they say they want small government. It's like, well, how long? I get it. You want small government. Okay, let's have small government. How long will this government remain small before it again gets large? Because the entirety of the American Constitution was aimed at keeping the government as small as humanly possible. In less than 200 years, the American government is now the largest government in the world. It is a humongous beast of a fucking government. So clearly that didn't work, right? So that's my issue. And that's the problem that conservatives and people like Karl Marx have. They think the answer is just to have some kind of angel government that sticks to the rules. It's like, yeah, no, that's never gonna happen. As soon as you have a government, those fucks are gonna be greedy little assholes. That's just how it happens. It's human beings, right? Tidemon, how you doing, bro? Yara, how you doing? Left and right, both circle around into tyranny. True. It's human beings. It's human nature. We're always fucked in the head, man. It is what it is. Doesn't matter. Wow, tier list drama. Now, what picture do I use for the thumbnail in the WoW tier list drama? Because the dude that made the tier list privated his account, so I can't see his tier list. I wanted to use his tier list as the picture for the thumbnail, but he privated his account, so man, do you guys not keep up with the news at all? Like, you guys genuinely just come on my stream every single day and go, right, Akulon will inform us of everything that's happening in the world, right? You just wake up and you go, I don't need to go on Twitter. I don't need to watch YouTube videos. Akulon will tell me if there's something important. How the fuck do you guys not know about the WoW tier list drama? Like, it's been raging for like 2 days. Oh my fuck, bro. Well, drama, people still play that, yeah? A lot. I mean, most people just complain about shit these days, but they still do it under the guise of WoW drama, yeah, or of WoW. See, the problem is I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if that could that be in the ether somewhere. Let's see. Twitter Eagle tier list. Could it be in the ether somewhere? This is definitely not it. I mean, the dude made a pretty wholesome fucking tier list. Not gonna lie. Imagine playing WoW in 2024. Plays WoW. Chrissy is S tier. Rest of them are mid or lower. Dude, yeah. Well, I said that before. Like, if anyone is gonna make a WoW tier list and Chrissy isn't like S plus, first in the S tier, S plus, you're fucking trolling. You're not taking it seriously. Get off the fucking stage. Let someone else do that. Chrissy, bro. Just go on fucking Twitter and search Chrissy. You'll see. All right, so there's no fucking, like, no one retweeted this. Man, this is annoying. And the dude privated his account, so I can't even get it. Just came home from an election day, voting, and already Akku's getting off his hinges, complaining about XP. VTX, how you doing, bro? This is Chrissy. Go follow her. She's based as fuck. She's super fun. I need... Fuck me, man. I need that... Like, that tier list would have been so perfect to have as a thumbnail. Ugh. I spend enough time on Twitter. I would say she's probably one of the few... If you care about WoW, she's probably one of the few people to follow in the WoW space. Because she's based and she has, like, probably some of the better tweets. Most of the other people just fucking complain about bullshit. So, not worth following most of them. Also drama free, so it's good to keep your Twitter balanced. I follow a healthy balance of people that cause drama and people that just don't fucking cause drama, and I would say she falls in the category of not causing drama, which is always a win on Twitter. Now, what the fuck am I doing with this thumbnail, boys? Am I just doing this? Fuck it, I'm just doing this. I can't be asked. Screw it, it's fine. Break your echo, it's not Twitter, it's Twatter. Well, these days it's not Twatter so much. If it wasn't for the bots, Twatter would be somewhat better. The bots is what makes it fucking terrible. You literally tweet anything, and there's a bot trying to sell you pussy. So, aha. Fuck me. How is there so many human beings on the planet that's doing OnlyFans, bro? King Julian, how you doing, bro? Optimistic, how you doing? Say you want to buy a shirt. I do not want to fucking buy a shirt, though. And I also don't want anyone to sell me OnlyFans bullshit. Like, if you have your OnlyFans, good for you. Like, I don't know, go on Reddit and post naked pics there to try and convince guys to go to bed. Don't every tweet fucking promote someone's OnlyFans. Like, there can't be that many people in the world, bro. Because every tweet that someone else promoting someone else's OnlyFans, it's like, how the fuck are there this many people in the world? How are you not running out of people to promote? Can't be possible. It's like, it's fucking unreal, man. I think I'm happy with that. We're just gonna stick with that. I am happy with that. I think I swore at least once, so I have to say inappropriate language. I definitely made a dick joke in this, I think. And maybe this can be considered controversial, so we'll yep. Thank you, YouTube, for demonetizing the video. I'm so glad. This is so much fun. You rock. You fucking rock, YouTube. Thank you. Okay, needed to take a break from watching the news, giving me a disgusting feeling in my stomach. So I watched Twitch streams to get a disgusting feeling in your stomach. I was gonna say, why is the news fucking you up so much? I have like of naked girls on X. I don't know why. Is that no stupid bot? Wait, you have like? What do you mean, Niora? Dude, what do you mean, rip editor? I'm the one that edited this. Danny, how you doing? I don't have an editor for the Clips channel. I do all of this myself, like all of this work. In the coal mines every single day, so you guys have fucking content to watch, man. Just a bunch of doom news. Optimistic. Best advice is stay the fuck away from that shit. The news is trying to get World War III started so they have something to report on. Why haven't you slept, Danny? Okay, so now we need... Where's that video? Did Major Kill delist that video? You wouldn't have, would he? Oh, shit. Major Kill delisted that video. G'day guys and gal, I have decided to make the Waste Hammer video private. To be honest, after uploading it and going to bed last night, I didn't think it would blow up and become this big thing, but after reading about thousands of people going to Waste's video to harass him and then thousands of people blowing up at each other in the comments, I see that it's really not worth it. I sometimes forget how the channel has evolved from our own little niche corner of the lore, where having the occasional pot-stirring video was a bit of a low-impact fun, to now being one of the more mainstream channels where these kinds of petty videos end up doing a lot more harm than good. While I like a bit of spice and a laugh, if it creates a lot more negativity than it does entertainment or laughs, then I don't think it's worth it. To be clear, I still stand by what I said. I personally do not believe that it is cool to take other people's ideas or remake their niche videos in your own style, especially people who have helped you in the past. Wes doing this actively hurts my channel. I wouldn't have ever dreamed of watching his 40k horror videos and then reworking the title, thumbnail, and making it a 10-minute Major Kill style video, despite how easy the views would be. But if that's just considered fair game these days, then so be it. I'm going to message Waste privately to sort it out and apologize. I take this as a lesson that petty call-outs for a bit of fun. Again, I believe that it is fair game. Like, am I wrong about that, chat? Alivarius, how you doing? Like, am I actually just wrong about that? If you see someone, right? If you see a video and it's a cool concept. So let's say, for example, videos like, why are this faction hated? And you like the concept. And you take the concept and you make your own video about that. Like, is that wrong? Taking a concept? Because if that's wrong, then whoever made the first fantasy, the first fantasy video or the first fantasy universe, basically no one else is allowed to do fantasy because you're taking their concept, which is now actively hurting them, which isn't the fucking case. It isn't true. People who watch Major Kill because of the way in which he presents his videos. People who watch Wastehammer likes Wastehammer because of how he presents his videos. I don't see how that is in any way, shape, or form stealing content or hurting Major Kill's channel. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Ronnie, yeah, pretty much. Maybe gives them some credit. To what? Why? Why would I give you credit for just inspiring me? Like, maybe one day when I win the fucking Nobel Peace Prize, I'll be like, well, I couldn't have been here without, you know, this guy, insert fucking whoever receives credit. But not at the start of every single video. Before I start this video, ladies and gentlemen, about why everyone hated the Primara Space Marines, I just need to give a shout out to Major Kill, who was the first person ever in the history of ever to figure out why everyone hates something to be a good video topic. No, I can actually tell you that Major Kill isn't the first person that came up with the why everyone hates concept. There's been plenty of videos about all other universes doing the exact same thing. He probably saw that concept from someone else and then decided to do it in the Warhammer style, right? And in his own style. Then it's fair game for someone else to pick that up and start making their own videos, as long as they're not copying your shit, and as long as they're adding their own flavor to it. That's fair game. It's like, who cares? Because if you are going to have a problem with that, then should Platinum WoW be allowed to keep making WoW videos? Considering the fact that he took Noble's style, or Noble's concept, which was to make WoW lore videos, and added his own spin to it. Is Platinum WoW allowed to make videos about World of Warcraft lore? Alabarius, yeah, people can debate as much as they fucking want. What do you mean? Yeah, if he's allowed to do it, then it's fine. Van Onkerston, how you doing, bro? Okay, so let's do major kill images. Oh, damn. Thank you. Oh, shit. Nombot, 7 months part of the Legion Nation. Appreciate you. Thank you. You're far too kind. I actually need a video of him being angry. What do you mean, why copy him? He likes taking off his shirt. It's just one of them things that he does. Man, why is it so fucking blurry, man? Come on, you bastard. No people will click into the stream. Decently good looking. Why not? Yeah, I mean, fuck it. He's got a good body. He looks like a handsome guy. So it worked for him. It works. His community seems to not mind it either. So we'll take this one. If I had his body, I would rarely wear a shirt. Dude, even if I had his body, I would still be wearing a shirt. I don't know why anyone, like, my uncle and my cousins like walking around without shirts as well. And I've never been able to fucking get that shit. I don't know how that helps you. Like, why is that better than not wearing a fucking shirt? I don't know. Now we need a picture of Wastehammer. Oh my fuck! This one is small too. It's gonna be the same problem. In it. See what happens if we blow this one up a little. Not too bad. At that size, you'd probably not even fucking notice, right? There's a limited pool of official art, and people would go ape shit if either one used AI to generate art. And for no reason at all. Dude, you can have his body. Just start going to the fucking gym. If that's actually what you want, just start hitting the gym and you'd be good. uh I'm stirring shit, chat. I'm stirring shit though. Like I'm stirring, boys. He obviously took this off for a reason. He didn't want people to keep looking at it. And here I am, just re-uploading it effectively. I don't know if fuck it. I did so much work in that video. I'm not taking it down. Fuck that. Instead of stating it, would it be more appropriate to have content thief? I guess, yeah, if we wanted to be pedantic, we'd probably do that, right? Yeah, you're probably right. We should probably do question mark. Let's see. What outline? What outline? Would an outer glow be worth it, though? Give Major an angry frowny face, 5-year-old. Shit. I don't have that level of skill. Otherwise I would. I'll give him a red outer glow. That will show anger, I think. Hopefully. Like fuck. That's not the kind of red I'm looking for though. Let's do this red thing. Like that. I think that works. You guys have to remember, I literally went out and hired a thumbnail editor for all of my thumbnails because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm rolling. Have a great day, y'all. Hector, I'll take care of yourself, bro. Thanks so much for hanging out. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Don't. You can publish this to subscription feeds. Starting to think watching a stream and a movie at the same time while playing WoW might be frying my brain. Dude, how the fuck are you focusing on anything if that's what you're doing? Like, there's no shot. You are not listening to the stream. You're not paying attention to the game. And you're almost fucking certainly not paying attention to the movie. Right. So both of these things have been demonetized. It's always fun when my hard work gets fucked by the YouTube algorithm. I like it. I like it. Makes me happy. We'll public this one right away. And then we'll do a schedule on this one for 6 o'clock. And we'll schedule this one for 8 o'clock. Alright, what's my content cadence look like now? Fuck it out. All 3 videos I have today. It's gonna make no fucking money. This is fun. I still have to do this one and then these 4 at some point. Alright, I'm done. Alright, boys. I'm all yours. We can talk now. We can talk now. Oh. Alright, what are you guys up to? What are you guys doing on this lovely weekend? Flip the channels in the lulls. Got home from work, got a bottle of wine and some beer ready for gaming. Van Onkerston, what are you playing? Oh shit, Sloan, okay. Watching Simpsons, drinking vodka. Fucking hell. If you forgot, then it wasn't important. If you'd like, Waste also posted a response. A response video. Or a response post. Give me the link. Sephion, what did you think of Mass Effect 1? And if you say it's bad, don't fucking say anything. Only tell me what you thought of Mass Effect 1 if you think it's just one of the greatest things you've ever played in your life. Yep. Mass Effect, hands down, one of the best games out there. Two is very good, although I'd say they're all very, very good. All right, let's quickly see here. Waste made a response to the drama. There's been a whole heap of drama flying around this morning, and I've been flooded with comments demanding answers, so I figured I'd needed to take a moment to address your concerns. No, my Chaos Dwarfs for Old World Kings of War are not finished yet, but they are close. I'd say they are about 80% done. Just need to do a little more detailing and the basis, and they will be good to go. Now, my base paint job, but I'm using all the tricks to get them done fast. Like, he's literally just ignored it. I love this. This is a great response. No, base paint job, standard. It's actually been so refreshing to take some time off to paint. I missed this so much. Anyway, new video coming soon. I've got scripts partially done for a night deep dive and even a Necromunda deep dive, as well as a few smaller videos in the pipeline. I like it. Wes just completely saying, fuck it. I'm not interested in the drama. I'm not interested in getting involved in this bullshit. So my response is, here's my dwarfs. And this is what I'm painting. So you can go fuck yourself. I think this is... this is pretty much the best way you can respond. When someone is accusing you of something that is obviously true, but is only really a problem in their mind. Because can I reasonably say that I believe Major Kill when he says Wastehammer probably got the idea for that video from him? Yeah, I can reasonably believe that. But there's also nothing wrong with that. So then what the fuck do you say? If you're Wastehammer, what do you say? I did indeed take the concept that he came up with and I made it my own. I'm not sorry. I don't know what you want me to say, right? Like, I don't know what you need me to say. So I think this is a really good response from Wastehammer. Yeah, he says this isn't his best paint job, but they look fucking fire to me. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know there was such a thing as Chaos Dwarfs. I'm assuming Chaos Dwarfs, this is fantasy, not 40k. All right. Here we go. This is Wastehammer. My response to Major Kill. Since the commenter I originally left this response with deleted their comment, I am posting it as its own comment and pinning it here. Can't blame them. Their phone was probably going nuts with notifications. Sorry about that, dude. Original response. No offense to him, but he's on a baseless ego trip. I think he has forgotten that we aren't celebrities or some great philosophical thinkers or something like that. We're lore tubers. What we do is talk about stories other people have written, using artwork that other people have drawn, all taken from a franchise we contributed nothing to. We have been blessed by our audience to actually be able to make a living talking about something we're passionate about, and in my opinion, anybody in our position should remain humble and be thankful for the position we've been given, something that Major Gill has clearly forgotten. He is free to make any video he wants, even if I've already posted one on the same topic. If his video is better than mine, it will do better in the algorithm. I'm not going to consult the hundreds of shorts I made every single time he posts something to see if he's talking about something I've already talked about. That would be an unbelievably narcissistic and entitled thing to do. I thought we were friends. Obviously not as close as friends as I have in real life, but friends in the context that we were colleagues. We were doing the same thing, and it was genuinely really nice having somebody else who knows what it's like being a content creator. As ironically, it can be kind of a lonely profession at times. But then he showed me his true colors with his weird Sunny V2 downfall video that he made on me without even reaching out first. And then once again, he did the same thing with this video. So now I know where we stand. I'm not planning on making a response video, as that's just what he's fishing for. He wants the engagement and the attention. Anybody who watches our videos will clearly see that they are radically different, and there's no plagiarism other than similarities with the thumbnail and titles, which I'll admit are similar. I didn't take them from him. I don't watch his content or even look at anything he posts, but we're both using the same YouTube tricks, like putting keywords in the title or using eye-catching official artwork. He probably does look at his thumbnails. You can't help you can't help it. If you make videos about Warhammer 40k, there's a very reasonable chance that other Warhammer 40k videos is going to pop up on your timeline. So you are going to see those videos from time to time. But again, I think this was a seriously level-headed response. I will say, though, to any future content creators that may be watching me right now or, in the future, know one thing about YouTube. No one on YouTube is your friend. No one online is actually your friend unless otherwise stated. And unless you've actually managed to talk to them and there's been a relationship, and there is a relationship. So, for example, if you were to ask me who are my friends in the content creation space, it would be SebiWebs and it would be Rurikon. Like, those are the two people that I consider to be my friends in the content creator space, because I've spoken to both of them before. I know who they are. I've hung out with them on Discord. I even had a podcast with Rurikon for a long time. So I would consider them to be my actual friends. Everyone else are people that I know, right? As people that I've spoken to before. Like Noble. Love Noble. I've spoken to Noble before. We once had a 3-hour conversation about WoW lore. But is Noble my friend? No. I have respect for him as a content creator, but I don't know Noble's real life. I literally don't even know what Noble's real name is. So, how the fuck would I count him as a friend? So yeah, I would say never think of people that you meet online. Because here's the thing. Everyone pretends to be something they are not online. Everyone. What you see, like, it's so rare to meet someone online, especially in this space, and they're like that in real life too. So fucking rare. To be fair, though, to Major Kill in this one, I feel like I should stand up for him as well. The Sunny V2 downfall video, I genuinely don't think people should, like, I think that is a case of just bruised egos, because the video really came across as Major Kill just poking a little bit of fun and also giving a little bit of advice at the same time, because Major Kill is one of the few Warhammer channels out there that is growing still to this day at a very fast pace. And I think, in that regard, I don't think that Major Kill was ever doing that video to try and hurt feelings. I don't think Major Kill was ever doing that video in order to try and attack anyone. Like, let me give you guys an example of why I don't think so. Major Kill went after Luton 09 in that video, saying that Luton's content is also pretty much stagnated, and while he still gets a lot of views, he doesn't get any new subscribers. Well, there's a reason for that. Luton probably has all of the subscribers. Like, anyone that watches anything in the Warhammer space watches Luton as well. So basically, you can look at Luton 09 and you can sort of go, that's about the size of the YouTube audience for Warhammer 40k. Then that's it. Because he is the largest and there's no one even close to him. Do you guys know of anyone that's a Warhammer 40k fan, watches people on YouTube about Warhammer 40k and doesn't watch Luton 09? Situation would change very fast. VTubers. Yeah, but Apocalypse, you watch fantasy stuff. Luton doesn't cover fantasy stuff. No, I mean, the fact is, I think Luton is, like, there is a point in every niche where you will stop growing and there's fuck all you can do about it, right? You're not going to keep growing. Look at the majority of WoW content creators. Like, most of the WoW content creators are stuck at, I think, between 600,000 and 700,000 subscribers. I don't know how many WoW content creators there are that have more than 700,000 subscribers, and the only two that I know that has over 500,000 subscribers, I think, is Balula and Noble. Am I wrong about that? Like, Balula has Balula has 625k subscribers, and I think Noble 607. I'm pretty sure he won't. Taliesin and Evital 292. They've been on 200,000 plus for a long time. The other one that I know is pretty big, Mr. GM, 127, and then Platinum, I think, is currently probably one of the largest in the WoW space with 299. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, the reason Noble and Balula was able to grow to about 600,000 subscribers was they were some of the first people that started making videos in the WoW space. I mean, they started, like, before I even started, I used to watch Noble and Balula's videos. So that's how long they've been making YouTube videos. So they were in the YouTube space when WoW was a massive, massive cultural phenomena. The majority of their subscribers are probably no longer even active subscribers. They're just, they've subscribed to them years ago, and so they're still subscribed. Like, I'm subscribed to channels that I haven't watched in years. I just don't go and unsubscribe to every channel that I don't watch. I think for most newer content creators, I think the sort of upper limit is probably around the 300 to 400,000 mark. I'm not entirely sure if you'll ever break through that, because WoW isn't that cultural phenomena anymore. It doesn't have that big of an audience on YouTube anymore. And so as a result of that, you're basically, that it's a niche, right? That WoW is a niche. So you are always going to be hard stuck when it comes to a niche. Elodie, it's not sad. Like, I can tell you, these guys aren't complaining about the fact that they're not making a lot of money. They're making bank loads of money. Like, they're making enough money. It's more just a case of, remember, you are in a niche that is limited in what it can achieve. And that's not going to change. What you're covering is something that not very many people care about in terms of how many people there are in the world and how many people there are on YouTube. 600,000 is still a fuck ton of people, you know? It doesn't mean that WoW is dead either, Elodie. Do you know how many games there are out there that are incredibly alive, but don't really have that big of a YouTube or online space? It's got nothing to do with death. It is more, I think, a case of, as WoW has become easier to get into, more accessible, like a bit more older, a lot of the people that still play WoW just no longer really give a fuck about watching videos about WoW. You know, because they know it. It's fine. You know, I don't need to watch videos. I know the game. Whereas obviously in the past it was new, it was hip hop and happening, so people actually cared a bit more, right? Yeah, but the cultural zeitgeist was always going to die. It's surprising that a game like Minecraft and a game like Fortnite has managed to hold on to their cultural zeitgeist for as long as they have. Because it's actually quite rare for games to hold on to that level of sort of cultural impact. It's very rare. I wouldn't see that as a bad thing. Yeah, League as well. But League has the added benefit of it changes so much and it is a competitive game that it will just remain until the only way League will ever be replaced and will lose that will be if another game takes over as the king of MOBAs. If that doesn't happen, no shot that it, like, no shot that any, like, it will just lose relevance. WoW is more atomized now too. Retail, classic hardcore. So, Stizzlebear, that's actually a very good, like a very good point. WoW does have more, like, what happened is as the WoW developers started to make these different versions of WoW, it has now also led to a further fracturing of the crowd. So in the past, all everyone had was retail. So anyone that cared about WoW would be playing retail and therefore would be watching retail videos. Now, people who play WoW, maybe I play Classic, so I'm not going to watch any retail videos. Maybe I play Season of Discovery, so I'm not going to watch any of the Classic or the retail videos. Maybe I play retail, so I'm not going to watch Classic videos. Why would I fucking do that? It's a waste of my time. So the community is more fractured, but if you, I think, put all of those communities together, it's still a pretty good fucking sized community. It's still a very good size, well-sized community, actually, I should say. Be on the losing side. I am like one of its first players, and I am over 40 now. Jenna, how you doing? Wait, why do you want WoW to be on the losing side, though? Dota is the king of MOBA? No, it's not, Sweaty Raider. It is not even close. No, dude. I just, when was this? I think this was 3 years ago. When League of Legends was celebrating their 10-year anniversary, they had, it's something obscene, bro. It's something like 100 million concurrent games a day that is played. 100 million concurrent players a day that plays League of Legends. It is like, I don't think people understand just how disgustingly large League of Legends is. It is a ridiculous game. The only thing that makes people think that Dota kind of competes is Dota has that massive prize pool once a year with their invitational. But outside of that massive prize pool, the numbers show that League of Legends is just culturally and also just numerically the far bigger game. Yeah, well, Dota, I think Dota's biggest problem is exactly that. Dota have these weird complexities in the game that makes it very difficult. So I'll give you guys an example. In the League of Legends map, there is clearly high ground and low ground. Like, you can look at the map and you can see there are parts that goes up and there's parts that's down, right? So there's high ground, low ground. In League of Legends, high ground, low ground means absolutely jack shit. It doesn't matter. In Dota, it does matter. If you're low ground, you can't see up high ground. High ground can see down. So low ground actually gives you a fucking disadvantage in League of Legends, in Dota. This is those are the small little nuances that you have to also figure out in Dota that you don't have to do in League. League is a lot more streamlined, which allows for it to be a lot easier to get into. And as we've established many times over, games that are easier to get into will always be more successful. Always. Across the board. This is not really even up for debate. Sephion, the thing is, if you told any Dota fan that they have to get rid of that, they would crucify you. The Dota fans love the fact that their game is incredibly difficult and technical to get into. They love it. It makes them very happy. It just means, sadly, that your game is never going to have the player base that a game like League of Legends would have. Because, well, if it's going to take me a month to get into League of Legends and kind of understand what I'm doing so I can help myself, and it's going to take me a fucking 6 months to get into Dota to just kind of know what the fuck I'm doing. As a player that's never played either, I'm going to jump into the one that's easier, right? Because if you tell me, oh, in about 6 months, you'll kind of have an idea of what the game does, you won't yet understand all of the ins and outs, like denying creep farm and opening jungle farms and stuff of that nature. You won't understand that yet, but you'll kind of understand the game. I'm like, well, I don't know. Fuck that. I'll play League. It's fine. Because in League, I pick my champion and I shoot the other champion. That's what I have to do in League. Like, the basics of League is you have a champion, I have a champion, we shoot each other until one is dead. You know? So it's just easier to get into. Different Souls games, very popular, but not in terms of player numbers. When you actually look at the player numbers, Souls games doesn't break the records of games played, right? It's not as large as a Minecraft game or a Fortnite game even. It's very popular exactly because it's very difficult, but the difficulty is still going to mean that it's never going to get to the, like, just blowing out the asshole of the video game industry. What is surprising is when a game like Elden Ring comes around and it sells millions of copies, people are surprised because, generally speaking, Souls games don't really do that. It doesn't sell as good. Like, it sells great, but it doesn't sell as good as other games because they're so fucking difficult. So it just immediately excludes a bunch of people. And also, I do want to say, when you're talking about, like, something that's technically difficult to understand versus something that is just straight up difficult, there's also a major difference in that. There isn't a lot that you need to understand on the technical side of things in order to play a Dark Souls game, right? Or a Souls-like game. The complexity is just dodge and then hit, right? That's basically the complexity. Do not get hit by stuff and hit stuff. That's how complex it is from a technical standpoint. That's not Dota. Like, Dota is, yes, hit and don't get hit, but then also a shit ton of other things on top of that, baked into it. Sweaty Raider, now we get into the argument of what actually is a good game. Because the very fact that Fortnite is popular suggests that it is, in fact, a good game. You see, the issue with games, and the issue with making, and I make this mistake myself sometimes, where I will say, well, this is just a bad game. But then you have to remember, it's a bad game for me. And the thing with games, and this is what makes games and the development of video games so very difficult, is it's highly subjective. What is good for one person may not, in fact, be good for another person. So when I say this game is just bad, what I should really be saying is this game is bad for me. It doesn't mean that this game is bad for everyone else. Take Suicide Squad, for example. I think objectively Suicide Squad is a terrible game. There are people, however, that think that it is actually an incredibly fun game and they actually really enjoy playing it. Are they wrong? No, they're just different. But also sometimes wrong. Titan Havoc, there were people that liked Starfield. Dude, let me put it to you this way. There was a woman that fell in love with Adolf Hitler. If you want to know how fucking objective things or subjective things can be, there was a woman out there that fell in love with Adolf Hitler. Most people would go like, fuck that guy. He's nuts. Look at him. He doesn't even look cute. There was a girl who fucking liked him, who thought he was actually quite sexy. So anything, okay, so, I don't know. I think there are objective truths. Bumsock, there are objective truths in this world when it comes to, I would say, politics, or when it comes to society, or when it comes to things like biology or science. There are objective truths there, and those truths are very important for us to find. Art, on the other hand, of which I would count video games among it, isn't an objective thing. I don't think you can get such a thing as an objective truth. So, for example, the Mona Lisa, one of the most famous paintings in the history of the Earth. I think it's actually kind of a shit painting. I understand why people think it's such a cool painting. I understand the allure of it. But when I look at the Mona Lisa, I would not stand in a fucking queue to go look at the Mona Lisa. It's a pretty fucking mid painting as far as I'm concerned. Because art is incredibly subjective. It is not going to speak to everyone on the same level. What about Blizzard games? It's an objective truth. Its quality is going down the drain. Pringles, again, we have to argue about it's going down the drain for who. It is true that for the crowd like myself and maybe like many of you guys that prefer World of Warcraft to be more masculine, more testosterone, big, burly, fucking sweaty guys beating the shit out of each other, has the quality of World of Warcraft gone down significantly for us, the crowd that prefer the old style of World of Warcraft? Yes, absolutely, that is true. Subjectively. Because is there a group of people that actually prefer the more, touchy-feely kind of storytelling, that kind of like the power of friendship storytelling in Dragonflight? Is there a group of people that don't want the war between the factions to go on, that don't like the fact that all of the heroes were these big burly motherfuckers? Also true. So to say that World of Warcraft's quality has objectively gone down is to try and make the argument that all human beings have objectively the same taste in stories and in art. If that was true, every movie on the planet would be getting 8 billion views. Because we all like exactly the same stuff. So when a movie comes out, we all go watch the movie because we all like the same movie. Even the best movies we have do not have 8 billion people watching those movies and walking away from them going, yeah, this was a good movie. So, true but wrong? Yeah. I'm pretty sure if I ground your hair into a burger, beard included, it would be pretty good. But not for, I mean, you could try that. I wouldn't enjoy that, but you could try it, I'm sure. It be included, I mean, I don't think that's a hot take. That's your take. I think Shadowlands story had potential, but I think it was fucking ruined from the start. Niara, now you're touching on something that is incredibly true. The greatest issue with World of Warcraft isn't that their story is going downhill and it's just objectively a bad story. Because that is not true. As we've already proven, there are people that actually kind of like the WoW story. The objective truth about World of Warcraft's story is that the audience for World of Warcraft is still there, and yet the target audience, the audience that used to form the core of the WoW space, the game is no longer made for that core. The story has moved away from that core and is now trying to adhere to a smaller group within the existing player base. And it's clear that Blizzard wants the game to cater to that group far more than they wanted to cater to us neckbeard, no-life fucks that prefer to watch Thrall and, Garrosh beat the shit out of each other for like 5 minutes straight. Blizzard doesn't want that. So there we have the objective truth. The story has left the player base that formed the core for a long time of World of Warcraft, and I can't help but think that that was by design. Blizzard doesn't want us as its audience anymore. Sweaty Raider, didn't I just explain to you? Like, I literally just explained it to you. Because I can tell you, from my perspective, and I can even prove it to you as I have in many, many videos, the story of Dragonflight is, to me, provably shit. Like, provably. The overwhelming majority of the moments that WoW was trying to go for was not earned. It was sort of coaxed out of the player base. The overwhelming majority of times that Blizzard wanted the player base to feel any sort of emotion, that emotion was forced. It wasn't earned. Most of the stories were rushed beyond belief to the point where you didn't even really know what the hell was going on there. The way storytelling is supposed to work in a video game, Blizzard completely broke away from how the story was supposed to be told. So from my perspective, the Dragonflight story was really bad. That doesn't make my perspective an objective truth, though, because here you are. You actually thought the story wasn't that bad. And you are not wrong. For you, the story wasn't that bad. And that is perfectly fine. For me, it wasn't great. Don't say, bro, calm down. I'm very calm. I am extremely calm. What I don't understand, right, is you are the one that makes a comment saying people in chat are a bunch of haters, right, because the story wasn't that bad. So you're the one throwing stones. I then show you how you're wrong, and your response to me is, okay, bro, calm down. Let's not be dishonest with one another. If we're going to engage in debate, if we're going to engage in healthy discussion, let's engage in healthy discussion. Let's not do the whole calm down, bruh. If you have something that you can retort, if there's some way that you can arguably, objectively prove that the story wasn't that bad, then do it. Or else, just say, all right, bro, yeah, I didn't think about it that way, and we move on. No need to get angry at each other. No need to, demean one another. There's no need for that. Shawan, but also Metalhead Goth, and my past story with orcs holding human head was my shit, and I'm no more the target. Well, yeah, but maybe let's see what War Within has to offer, right? So about that you could do, yeah. Subjective opinion, how a story should be told, so it became an objective thing within humanity. Therefore, WoW is objectively bad storyteller. If we want to be smart asses about subjectivity, then obviously objectivity does not exist at all in the whole universe. That's not true. Objectivity does exist in the universe. Objectivity just does not exist in art. Right? Because, again, different people like different things, and that's sort of the whole point of it. Not everyone is going to think, I, for example, played Death Stranding. I thought Death Stranding was an absolute masterpiece. I genuinely think Death Stranding was a masterpiece. There were people who literally called it a walking simulator. Are they wrong? No, there's a lot of walking. But they're only right because they don't understand what the walking is about. Right? They don't understand what the story and the game is about. So that's why they're wrong, because I understood that. But what the story was about just did not adhere to them. It did not click with them. And so they just decided, no, I don't want this, you know? Pringles, I mean, the game has its music and shit, but that's not even it, right? You don't even need the music. You can literally just, like, the game is phenomenal. You just have to play it. I am hyped for the second game, Diffin. You missed the point. Some things can be objectively bad, while at the same time, subjectively good. Again, I don't necessarily... I think what we're doing then is we're starting to split hairs about what the meaning of objectively bad is. Now, what I will concede is, if we were to look at World of Warcraft and we say, right, according to all the knowledge we have of how a good story has to be constructed, what is required for a good story to work, was WoW a good story based on all of the knowledge that we have of what makes a good game, or what makes a good story? And the answer there would objectively be no. No, it did not, right? Because based on all of the things we know a good story has to have in order to be a good story, and how did we figure that out? Well, we can look at the greatest books and novels and plays of our history, and we see what they do and how they do it, and we realize, okay, they have a specific formula of how they tell their story, and that seems to appease the greatest group of society. Because ultimately, even bad movies and stories have an audience, right? So clearly, the best way to tell a story isn't the universal truth, because there are other types of storytelling that is objectively not the best way to tell a story, but it does indeed appeal to some percentage of society, right? But the reason we say this is the objective-based way to tell a story is because it appeals to the majority of society. So in that sense, yes, World of Warcraft is objectively not a good story, but it's only when we compare it to how the best story is told. But just because that is how the best stories are told doesn't mean that that's the only way a story can be told. You can use one of the other ways. You'll just not find as big of an audience as you would with a better way, for example, right? Dragonflight as a whole, it looks very rushed and incoherent. I got the impression there was writers doing their own short stories, and those are not bad in a vacuum, with exceptions. The short stories was actually, Raymer, phenomenal, all right? But I said this in one of my videos. The side content in Dragonflight is actually objectively better than the main content. Like, you look at the storyline of the Brood Dragons. Phenomenal storyline. You look at the storyline of the Bronze Dragons, except for the cringe moment where Nomi or Chromie hugs his fucking leg. Phenomenal storyline, right? The problem was with the main storyline at times felt rushed. I agree with you. And the only thing I can think of there, so we know that Chris Metzen has been back with Blizzard for 2 years, right? And for the last year, he's been actively working with the World of Warcraft team on this new World Soul Saga for the last year. The story, the main story of Dragonflight, would have been finished and written long before Chris Metzen stepped into the office. Like, that story would have been finished already. Because remember, the expansion is usually finished, or at least the outline of the expansion is already finished by the time the previous expansion launches. So when Dragonflight launched, the story for Shadowlands was pretty much... when Battle for Azeroth launched, the story for Shadowlands was already finished. When Shadowlands launched, the story for Dragonflight was already finished. So now you have Dragonflight that launched. Chris Metzen joined roughly at the start of Dragonflight. The issue there is that all the ideas that Chris Metzen may have now may in fact start changing the story that my best friend Denuser came up with, right? Because maybe Chris Metzen doesn't like where Denuser, my best friend, wants to take the story. And so there's a good chance that some rewrites happened, and that may be why it felt a little bit rushed. because I agree with you. There were stories. Bumsock, by the way, thanks for the follow, man. Really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's definitely stories in Dragonflight where you go, wait, that came out of fucking nowhere. Hey, how did we just so quickly? That's quick. A great example is Veranoth, right? Hey. Stizzlebear, by the way, thanks for the follow, sir. Really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great idea is Veranoth. Veranoth, like, I need to show you guys this. Like, you will not, like, once you see this, you cannot unsee it. I'm not going to show you the whole cinematic, but this cinematic, 6 months ago, this cinematic comes out, right? It launches to the game, and in this cinematic, Veranoth is basically telling Alexstrasza, take your pussy, take your sexy ass, and fuck off, right? Not in those words, obviously. She was more refined than me. But she basically told Alexstrasza, I want nothing to do with your titties. Get the fuck out of here, right? She's very angry. She blocked her on X. Like, blocked her, deleted her everywhere. She's never speaking to her again. And then, out of nowhere, and that's 2 months later. Like, you guys just saw 6 months ago, Veranoth tells Alexstrasza, I don't care about you. Leave me the hell alone. It is war. Remember what you did to the kids. Then, a mere 2 months later,
I will speak with your Dragon Queen. Then speak. No doubt you are aware of what my brother is after. Every gateway to the Emerald Dream has been secured, and is well defended. It is not a gate he seeks. With the Druids of the Flame at his...
A mere 2 months after that cinematic, Veranoth goes, so remember when I blocked you on, you know when I said all those mean things about you in the DMs and then I blocked you on X? You know when I said all those mean things to other, like I spreaded those rumors and stuff? Yeah, so, would you, any chance we could just forget about that? Like, kinda, you know, maybe I could come back and we could be friends and stuff, you know? 2 months, boys. 2 months later. Now we're good, best friends. Tell me how that is not the result of some kind of weird fucking rewrite. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Mob, bad storytelling would not, like, the only way you could say this is just bad storytelling is if somehow the writers of WoW have Alzheimer's. Like, sure, if that is your contention, and maybe you have like a medical certificate proving that the writers of WoW have Alzheimer's, because this isn't bad storytelling. This is like, you release a cinematic where Veranoth tells Alexstrasza to go fuck herself, knowing full well that you have a cinematic just 2 months later where Veranoth is gonna go, oopsie, never mind. You know, they thought, no one thinks this is a clever plot twist. No one thinks that. There's not a single writer in the world that thinks this is a good, like, a clever plot twist. Epic Thulu, that's what I think happened. I think Chris Mason, when he finally joined, he wanted certain things to change because he had obviously this grand new plan for where the story was going to go. And I think what ended up happening is Chris Mason told the newser and the team, guys, I need Veranoth alive by the end of this expansion. And now they're fucked. They're like, oh, shit. Okay, we were kind of planning to kill her in the final raid, but okay. Well, how are we gonna do this? Because we kind of planned on Iridicron being the big bad going into the future, and he's like, yeah, I want Iridicron to be the big bad in the future, but I need Veranoth, and I also think Veranoth should be an ally. Now you have this problem. You've sort of built Veranoth up to be this Giga Chad enemy, and now the new lead writer is telling you, well, actually, I kind of need her to be a friend. And then you end up with this sort of weird twists that don't make a lot of sense, but they have to happen. You don't have a choice. It just needs to happen. So that's what I think happened here. It's just rewrites. They had to do it because Chris Mason wanted her for a reason. I don't know yet why. It's exactly like what happened with the Marvel movies. The director had a 2-hour movie. Disney came in and cut 30 minutes of it, and the movie felt choppy, poorly cut up, and apparent division change. Moral, it happens, I think, more often than what people think, right? Stizzlebear, I will agree with you on Razageth and on Farak, and I will agree with you to some extent on Veranoth. Veranoth got nowhere near enough screen time, which is again another problem with DF. It felt like a lot of the villains, their motivations were oftentimes severely underdeveloped. But where I will disagree with you is Iridicron. I think Iridicron may be the best example, at least in the last 6 years, of Blizzard finally again figuring out how to do a fucking villain right. You have this guy that's completely in the background, and they also treat his actions as being very, very secretive, which is great. Rather than Zuval, that is in the background so much so that no one even knew he fucking existed, and then suddenly all of his actions are just supposed to be epic, right? And everyone's like, who this guy? Like, who this? Yeah, I like, this doesn't work. I would say Iridicron works, especially since we know Iridicron is going to be around for a very long time. So I think Iridicron got just enough screen time. At least if... So this is completely conditional. If they do with Iridicron what I hope they're going to do with Iridicron, I think he got just enough screen time. If they want Iridicron to be the next big bad in the next expansion, then I'm with you. They should have given him a little bit more screen time. But if you think about all of the greatest villains that WoW has ever had, most of them were heard of, but rarely if ever seen. Think Sargeras. Every single WoW player knows who Sargeras is. Yet, we saw Sargeras for the very first time in fucking Legion. We were very aware of his work, but we didn't see him until Legion. Because they did it just right. Every once in a while, they would sprinkle a little bit of Sargeras' madness in by proxy, right? So the demons would invade, and because we know that he controls the demons, by proxy, he's responsible for this. And they would do it just often enough that we never forgot that Sargeras is there, right? And he's obviously moving pieces around, and we're not always sure what the pieces are meant to be moved towards. And then you finally see him, and it's a major oh shit moment, because you're finally seeing this villain that has always sort of been the boogeyman in this universe. And it felt like that's kind of what they want to do with Iridicron. They want Iridicron to become this sort of boogeyman. Aragos, how you doing, bro? A bad trait for a character. It all comes down to how a writer develops and portrays them. There is a range of good and bad Dark Lords in stories. Raymer, absolutely agree with you. I think the problem with one-dimensional villains in stories is more often the case that if you write a villain that you're trying to make this big Giga Chad 5D chess kind of villain, yet you write them very one-dimensional, bog-standard evil, that's where the audience sort of loses track of the conversation, because you're trying to convince me that this guy is behind everything, and yet the way you're writing him, he's like your bog-standard, you know, like bad guy, right? Like your James Bond villain kind of guy. Zuval is a great example of this. Blizzard tried to pretend like he's this super mega mastermind character, but then every voice line you see of him, every time you see him, it's just bog standard. Oh, look at me, I'm evil.
Thank you.
Trust me, bro, I'm very evil. But for Rack, in that regard, I think was done really, really well, because Farak is a one-dimensional villain, and he never pretended to be more than that. But he embraced the fact that all he wants to do is watch the world burn. He has no ulterior motives. He doesn't give a fuck about the war or the Titans. He just wants to burn everything to the ground. And that's it. And that works when that is all that your villain wants. Get Willie, how you doing, bro? Thanks for the Prime sub. Really appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome to the most degenerate chat on Twitch. Really appreciate you, fam. If Iridacron isn't there in The Lost Titan with his pet Galacron, it'll be disappointing. I don't know if we'll see Galacron, but I genuinely think we will see Iridacron. Epic Thulu, absolutely, right? So the Joker, I would say the Joker is probably the greatest example of one-dimensional villain done absolutely perfectly. All the Joker wants to do is cause chaos. That's it. He wants to kill Batman, but the only reason he wants to kill Batman is because Batman keeps ruining his plans to basically throw everything into chaos. And then on the other side, you want to talk about a character that has multi-layers. Let's look at Thanos. Thanos, again, is a character with many, many layers to him. Is he a villain? Yes, from our perspective. But from his perspective, everything he says, you listen to and you go, kind of has a point, right? I can understand his reasonings. So there you have two very good examples of villains done perfect, one-dimensional and multi-dimensional. The only time this shit falls apart is when you have Thanos, and Thanos is acting like the Joker. That's where it would fall apart for the audience. Because that's where the audience would be like, wait, why is this guy talking like he knows what the fuck's up, but he's just doing bad shit the whole time, right? Or vice versa. You have to match the story and the villain to one another perfectly for it to work. Bloodstone Shadowbringer villain is perfect. We will one day play Final Fantasy XIV. Snubby, how you doing? We will one day play, finish Final Fantasy XIV. One day. You guys know me. I don't finish games quick. Soon, TM. It'll happen. It'll happen. Fuck it. Yeah. But there's no rush. There's no rush. Balthazar, how you doing, bro? The key problem with Farak was the balance of stakes. Farak was portrayed as an intense, all-consuming, uncontrollable inferno, yet he did nothing to impact the world or characters around him. But this is sadly one of those sort of downsides of, I would say, WoW, where it's very rare. If you think about really, Deathwing was one of the few villains that had a noticeable impact on the world around him, and also just at the start. And then Alliance players had to wait years to get fucking Stormwind fixed, like one of the things that really destroys WoW narrative is sometimes how static the world is in WoW. So you have this like the best example I have of this is N'Zoth gets free, and everyone's like, oh shit, he's gonna bring back the Black Empire. 2 zones, by the way. He manages to make 2 zones slightly purple. Woo! Oh. Wow, this is the Black Empire? Wow. What were you guys afraid of? Like, fuck. He wasn't even greedy. He just took 2 zones. Like, that's not too bad. We couldn't even give him those 2 zones. Like, you know, we're the ones that's greedy. He left the rest of the world completely untouched. He just wanted these 2 zones. We could have hatched a deal. Hey, N'Zoth, buddy old pal, you know, how about you take these 2 zones and do your Black Empire thing, you know, and then we'll keep the rest, and that way we can all just work together. You know? So this is sort of like a problem that just always exists in WoW, is that the world oftentimes takes either way too long to respond to things that's happening in the real world, or oftentimes just doesn't respond at all. So I can give you guys an example of this. One of 2 things is going to happen with Sargeras' sword. Either we're going to find out that for the last 6 years, there's been a lot of things happening around Sargeras' sword, and we'll get a cinematic that shows us the conclusion of all this work that was done behind the scenes to get Sargeras' sword out of the planet. Or we're going to fix the Sargeras' sword problem in 1 patch. Just rush through everything to get rid of his sword. That's usually the duality in World of Warcraft. You don't get to see changes happen over time. You don't get to see like the world slowly adopt and change as things is happening. It's usually a case of nothing happens for like a fuck long time, and then suddenly everything changes. It's just like that. Now it's good. No need to worry. Alman, how you doing, bro? I have no idea what they're gonna use the sword for. Oh shit. Oh shit. One of the WoW Twitter fascists got their account booted off of Twitter. In my video today where I talk about the tier list stuff, that sleepy druid basically instructed their followers to dox all of the goals that were on the WoW tier list, and they got their accounts nuked. It's funny. It's about time, though. That group, that Sleepy Druid, and there's another guy called Zen Iron Cake. They are, dude, they're one of the fucking worst groups of people on Twitter, man. It is the amount of people that they have bullied out of the WoW community with their bullshit. It's somewhat unreal. Stizzlebear, I have a video on my YouTube channel about the drama, but I'll quickly recount it for you guys. You'll have to watch the video for like a full, in-depth review of what exactly transpired, because it's fucking nuts. But basically, here's what happened. So there's this dude, right? He's a streamer, I think, as well. I'm not entirely sure. But he goes and he asks all of the WoW Twitter eagles if they would be okay with him making a tier list of WoW Twitter eagles. And something like 82 of the WoW Twitter eagles say, yeah, that sounds fucking awesome. Yeah, go for it. Right? So he got consent from every single one of these girls. I don't think you need consent to make a tier list of people. It's just a fucking tier list. Who gives a shit, right? But still, he does that. So kudos to him for actually doing it. And then the tier list comes out. Now, here's how he rated these girls. Basically, 3 tiers. There's SSS Plus, and it has a caption, none of you girls could ever even get close to this. Then there's S, and then there's A. And that's it. There are no F tier E girls in his tier list. All right? And then he explains how you get on SSS Plus and how you get on S and how you get on A. And effectively, it is a tier list of the girls that he is actively friends with is in the SSS Plus. Then girls that he has spoken to before, and they sometimes have like funny tweets and they do like cool stuff in the community. They're S plus, and then the girls that he's never spoken to, but they do cool stuff in the community, they're A tier. Right. So basically, it's just like a tier list of who's his friends and who isn't, effectively. And then you have a fuck ton of other girls immediately, basically, coming out and calling the tier list disgusting and also harmful. Very harmful and very disgusting. Of course, they don't explain why it's harmful, but it is harmful. And then you have a bunch of, like, weak-ass fucking boys that immediately jump on the opportunity to now pretend like they're outraged by this tier list as well. So they start attacking all the girls on the tier list, like White Knights would, right? So now the girls on the tier list are getting harassed, and you have a bunch of people that's outraged on their behalf. And you have the guy that made the original tier list got harassed to the point where he actually made his Twitter account private because he could just not deal with the fucking harassment anymore. And that is the story of the WoW tier list bullshit. Have you seen any solid release date for Pandemonium, the third Big Quinn novel? Rumor is no, I have not, no. I mean, I don't give a fuck about tier lists and shit like that. I don't think so. My problem is, so some of the girls on the side of not liking the tier list were like, how dare you reduce women to their looks when a woman is so much more than just her looks? And I was like, but you're not, though. Listen, bitch, I don't even know who the fuck you are. All I know about you is there's a picture and your name next to your picture. To me, that's all you fucking are. You're not my friend. I don't know you. I've never even fucking spoken to you. So to me, you're just that little picture. That's it. That's all I know about you. Once I get to know you and we actually start to talk, I could say, oh, there's an intelligent human being in here. There's a nice human being in there. There's someone with empathy in here. There's whatever, right? So now I can start stacking the list of all the things that you fucking are and aren't. But until that point, all you are to me is a fucking picture, right? And maybe a name. And that's it. So if that is all I'm judging you on, I'm actually just being a human being. Because for all our bluster about not judging a book by its cover, guess what? We all judge a book 100% by its fucking cover. Like 100%. Judging their contributions, then it turned into a hotness tier, they would have said no to? I have no idea, right? You know, the problem, Morale, is that as much as I'm sure that there are a ton of WoW Eagles and Eagles in general out there that have wonderful personalities and they're wonderful people, I don't know that. For all I know, you could be completely fucking empty and stupid. I have no idea, right? I don't have time in my day to check in with every fucking e-girl and e-boy on the internet to figure out what kind of person are you, right? If you don't want people to judge you based on your looks, then don't put your picture on the internet. It is as simple as that. If I had a problem with people calling me fat, I should stream without a camera. It's as simple as that, right? Because I'm never going to be able to somehow convince the world that I am not fat, even though I'm so obviously fucking fat. So if I don't want people to think I'm fat, then I should not have a camera, and I should also not have pictures of myself anywhere on the internet. The second I put my pictures out on the internet, I am opening myself up for people to say, hey, you're fat. And every once in a while, some fuck comes into the chat and they're like, Boogie? And it's like, oh, yeah, what an original joke. Do I get angry over that? No. How the fuck would I get angry over that, right? It's a joke. They think they're original because they might be the first person to ever say that. It's fine, right? It's just how it works. If you don't like that, then you shouldn't be on the internet. You should not put your shit on the internet. Used to be fat as fuck. I would never dare getting in front of the camera. Everyone is different about this. I couldn't give two shits, right? For me, it doesn't even matter. But it's yuck when a streamer thinks they're God. Dude, it's, yeah, well, everyone's different. At the end of the day, I just don't, like, the thing I hate most is people that get offended on behalf of other people. Like, that's the thing that pisses me off most. I genuinely think more people in this world need to realize if you're not personally affected by something, you should just shut the fuck up. Go grab a coffee, go relax somewhere. It has nothing to do with you. When night simping ruins most things. Dude, I don't know why they do that. I don't know if they think maybe if they white knight for girls, then those girls will actually, I don't know, fall in love with him or some shit. I don't know. All right? Maybe that's what they think. I would just, okay, so I saw this and I just, as I'm scrolling, I'm seeing it again. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. Right, so this is Asmongold. I don't know exactly what happened, but clearly something was walking in his pants or some shit. Oh yeah, there was something flying on him, and then you have a cockroach on his shoulder, and he picks up the cockroach. Like, he's just overwhelmed with cockroaches at this point. Yeah? And of course, everyone has a problem with it. Drama Alert said, this guy is a millionaire streamer and has roaches crawling on him while he streams. So gross. Now, here's what I don't care, right? This is how he wants to live. Let the fucking man live, right? Who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. Doesn't affect you. Would I be able to live like that? Fuck no, right? It would kill me mainly because I am deathly afraid of cockroaches. I don't know why they freak me the hell out. But he clearly doesn't care. He just picks him up and, you know, he does whatever with them. But here's what I don't get from Asmongold. Like, the dude clearly doesn't like cleaning. And that's great. He doesn't like cleaning. He also clearly doesn't really give a fuck about much. But he has money. So why not just grab a couple of cleaners, right? Like, pay a company to come clean for you 2 or 3 times a week. And then just fumigate your fucking house. Like, literally, just get fumigators in. Let them fumigate the shit out of the place. Take care of the cockroaches for you. Take care of all the other shit for you. And then you don't have to worry about it at all, right? Like, you don't have to worry about everything is taken care of on your behalf. The house is nice and clean. Why does Asmongold just refuse to do that? Like, what is it that stops him? Yeah, but dude, I know the struggles of not wanting to spend money. Believe me. Like, fucking believe me. It took me a year. It took me a year to buy these headphones, right? This headset here that I have now, the Steel Series one, a year. I saw these coming out and I was like, fuck, I want to buy these because I want a wireless headset that will work with my mic and with my streaming. But then every single time I go to buy it, I'm like, do I really need these headphones? Like, maybe my setup is fine right now. Like, I don't think I need to spend whatever the fuck this was in dollars. It was like 7,000 rand, but I don't know how much that is in dollars. Maybe I don't need to spend that now. I have been, you guys know this, I spoke to you on stream about this. I have been looking for a standing desk for the last, 4 months now? For the last 4 months, I have had my eye out for a standing desk because I don't want to sit the whole time. It's unhealthy and it's not good and all the rest of it. Every single time I go to look at the standing desks and I go to buy one, there's this voice in my head that goes, do you really need this? Like, I don't think you really need this. Like, maybe you could just get up a little bit more. Like, I keep thinking to myself, well, maybe what I should do is just every hour get up and walk around for about 5-10 minutes and then come sit back down. Of course, I'm never going to fucking do that. All of you know this. How often do we do 6-7 hour streams where I literally sit in this one position for 6-7 hours and just do fuck all, right? And then afterwards realize, fucking hell, I've been sitting for a while now. So I know I'm not going to get up and walk around every hour, but I keep convincing myself, well, I could just learn to get up and, walk around for a bit. I don't need a standing desk. And I know I need one. I know I should buy a standing desk. But then when I have to spend the money, I'm like, nah, not going to do it. So I get that. But fumigation? Really? That's not fucking expensive. Because the only way I feel, it's only with like expensive stuff that I feel that. If it's something that's like, whenever it's less than, I'd say, $300, anything under $300, I'll buy like this. It's not really a problem, right? If I need it. If I don't need it, I'm not going to spend money on it. But if it's something I need and it's under $300, I'll get it because it needs to be done. Over $300, I start seriously questioning my decisions. And then over $1,000, I'm usually just like, nah, I don't need it. Like that, I don't need that. Fuck that. You're not telling me that fumigation and cleaning services is more than $300 in the US. I don't fucking buy that. What's my bed budget? No, I liquidated the bed budget. Alpine WSG. What the fuck is Alpine WSG? Papa Shango, how you doing, bro? I'm pretty sure he started 3 companies. He did indeed. Wait, facilities that are audited, fumigation is extremely dangerous. What? Wait, what? What? Fumigation is dangerous? How the fuck is fumigation dangerous, though? It's seep in what wood? Oh, right. You Americans built your houses out of wood. I remember now. Never mind. Yeah. I don't think it's that or that dangerous in South Africa. I think it's dangerous for you guys in America because for some fucked up reason, the Americans decided, you know what? We want to go back to building our houses out of wood.
Oh, damn. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Here in South Africa, we use bricks. But nah, you guys want to do it the same way your fucking ancestors did it. Namwad, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate it. That 66 months part of the DJ Nation. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm still here, I swear. I believe you, bro. I believe you. First World Nation with the NATO, building wood. Exactly. We have a lot of wood. In the US, that house is so far gone, he would need to tear it down and build a new one. Americans want it cheap, that's why. Are wood houses actually that much cheaper than fucking, I don't think so. A wooden house would probably be more expensive than a brick one. Leroy Merlin. It sounds familiar, Aragos. Let me check. Yeah, we have it. What the fuck is it? Yeah, but we do have it, yeah. All houses in South Africa, all buildings in South Africa is bricks. In fact, the problem that you would run into in South Africa, and this did happen, back when my brother wanted to buy a he wanted to buy a house, he was informed because the house that he was looking at was a wooden house, right? It was like a wooden cottage, and the insurance company basically contacted him, and the insurance company was like, so this house is gonna have a premium, like your repayment on this house is gonna be, let's say, for argument's sake, $1,000 a month, right? That's what it's gonna cost you per month for this house. The insurance payments on this house is gonna be $1,300 to $1,400 per month. So basically, your insurance will double your monthly payments on the house if your house is made out of wood in South Africa. The insurance companies are just straight up like, go fuck yourself. Wooden house? Really? That can burn? Nah, fam. Build your house out of bricks or get the fuck out. The disco option, or SA house is insulated? No, not really, no. You have to remember, we live in an incredibly warm climate. So, for the most part, houses in South Africa are built to, I guess, move, let's call it heat, as efficiently as humanly possible to try and keep the house's temperature as low as humanly possible. So, I guess to some extent, they may be somewhat insulated, but not. How insulated are bricks and cement? Well, then there you go. Basically, when I did it back in the day, the houses would be built as follows, right? So you'd have all the outside walls, bricks, 2 rows of bricks. In the middle of the 2 brick rows is like a plastic sheet, a plastic sheet in the middle, and then the 2 brick things are built like this next to each other, right? So you have it go up. That's the carry walls, double layer, double brick, double wall, whatever. And then you asked about the inside walls. They're also brick. Like everything is brick. That back wall there is brick. That's brick. That's brick. Everything's brick. Yeah, drywall is very rarely used here. It's starting to pick up. Like, you'll get office buildings that will do drywall inside the office building, but drywall in homes is almost fucking unheard of. Like, almost no one uses drywall in their houses. No, wintertime, especially here in the Western Cape, is a fuck up with the way we build houses. This is true. Like, the inside of your house is like a little fridge, which I don't mind because I actually like wearing. Yeah, I actually love wearing like summer clothes, winter clothes rather. I like layers. I enjoy it. So I don't really mind that all that much, and I hate heaters, so it works out for me. But I will say, in the winter time, houses get fucking cold. Yes, I believe South Africa has a shit ton of clay. Shit tons of clay. I know the Western Cape has some of the, like, I think, like, most of the earth in the Western Cape is clay. It's why the plant life is completely different. Like, this is something I found out the other day that I did not know. Did you know that the Western Cape, the biome of the Western Cape, is absolutely, completely unique? There is no other place on Earth that has the same biome as the Western Cape. It's a thing called fynbos or fine bush. So it's this type of I'm trying to see how the fuck could I show this to you. In Afrikaans, it's called fynbos, but there's literally nowhere else in the world that has this. Like, that is probably the best way to show you. That's what it looks like in summer. And the whole of the Western Cape has this type of plant life thing going on. It's the weirdest shit. Because where I come from in the rest of South Africa, it doesn't have this at all. I don't know what the fuck a succulent is, though. Cactus. Cactus you'll find more in the Northern Cape, because that's more desert area. So Northern Cape, you'll get more cactus and shit of that nature. So the Cape is winter rainfall, and normally it gets a shit ton of rain. So it's a green desert kind of. I don't really fucking know. I don't know. I don't know what it's classified as. Like, what people would call. I know it's called fynbos, and I know it's completely unique. There is no other place on Earth that has this specific like type of plant life. The environment is completely unique to this specific area. Yeah, very few. Like, they do have trees, but of course we're only looking at like fynbos right now, so they're only giving us examples of fynbos. But I'm not even sure if the trees that are here are actually local or if they've been planted here. But there are a bunch of like, okay, so Western Cape, if we go. Yeah, there you go. Like the forests in the Western Cape. I don't know where this is. 7 ancient forests in and around Cape Town. I don't know where the fuck this is. These are all plantations, obviously. So someone planted that for themselves. I've not been to these areas yet. Kelp Forest. The fuck is the Kelp Forest? Cape Kelp Forests, named one of the 7 wonders of the world. Wait, it's an underwater forest. The fuck? I didn't know this was in the Cape. East Village Cougar Park or Kruger Park? Because big difference, right? But would I suggest the Kruger National Park for a holiday? It depends. So it's called Kruger, as in Kruger, named after the first president of South Africa, Paul Kruger. Now, it depends, again, because is it a good holiday for me? Fuck no. I don't like driving through things and looking at nature. So for me, super boring. If you like nature, if you enjoy seeing lions and elephants and all the rest of it, then yes. My brothers are... If you're a nature person, you would absolutely adore going to the Kruger National Park. If you're not really a nature person, it's fucking hot. It's very hot. And there's fuck all to do. It's just driving around, looking at nature. Although I must say, I think a lot of my a lot of my sort of inferences about the Kruger National Park comes from being a child. And I think I may have some form of PTSD because my dad is super into like wildlife. But we're talking all manner of wildlife. So, for example, my dad has books about the different types of grass, as well as the different types of trees, and also the different types of birds. So, driving with my dad through the Kruger National Park, we would stop every 10 minutes, and my dad would be like, "You see this tree? So this is this kind of tree, and it does this, and it comes from here, and it comes from here." And as a young child, I would be like, "The fuck do I care? This is just a tree. It looks like all the other fucking trees we've been past. I don't know why I would care about this." And then he would go, "This grass, like, look at this grass. You can see from its seed. The seed travels this way, and this is how it procreates," or whatever the fuck, right? And I would again just be like, "Grass? Really? Like, this is why we're here?" So I got really bored as fuck in the Kruger National Park. But yeah, I would say if you like nature, the Kruger National Park is probably one of the most wonderful things you could ever see. And especially if you come from the US, this would be a very cheap holiday for you. You prefer green nature? Well, it's all going to depend on the time of year that you go to the Kruger National Park. If you go during the summer, you're going to get green. If you go during the winter, you're not going to get green. Van Onkerton, not at the Kruger National Park, no. But what kind of wildlife are you looking to shoot? If you want to kill lions, there's a shit ton of farmers in the north of the country that will sell you lions to shoot. If you want to kill elephants, the north is pretty much also where you need to go. Probably Mpumalanga is going to be one of your best bets. Basically, if you want to hunt, the north is really the place to go. Especially for the big five. The only thing you won't really get in the north as much is leopards. You're probably going to get that closer to like the middle of the south, but there are leopards if you want to hunt those. Yeah, no hunter in South Africa will let you shoot with an RPG though. But you can fucking try. I don't think you'd get fined to fuck, but you could try. Like, see how many you can take out at once. It will cost you a lot though. This shit will not be cheap for you. I think lions currently go for something like $25,000 per lion. And for an elephant, you're probably looking at $500,000 to shoot an elephant. So unless you're super rich, you're probably not gonna hunt the big five. No more, yeah, of course. So I know a bunch of farmers that have hunters that come in. So there's a couple of reasons why they bring the hunters in. The first thing is pretty much all of the big five require a lot of space. Oftentimes a lot more space than what these farmers have available. So what ends up happening is if you, say, for example, have a bunch of elephants, as these elephants have little ones, they eventually get so much that they will start consuming all of the food that there is to eat, and then they will starve. So you need to do something with those. You can sell them. The problem is there's not much of a market for elephants outside of, well, people looking at them or people hunting them. So there's not many people willing to buy a bunch of elephants, right? So now you start running into this problem. You have a shit ton of elephants because partly you want to conserve elephants, but now you don't really have a market for them because, quite frankly, elephants don't fucking give anything. Okay? So what they then do is they sell the excess elephants in order to ensure that they can take care of more elephants. So if you speak to these farmers, thanks to the allowance of hunting, they are able to save far more animals than what is actually shot every year. Because it's a business, right? These animals have an actual value to them. And as a result of that, they want more of this animal. All day and get paid? Ivory? Well, in South Africa, ivory is illegal. Like, the trade of ivory is highly illegal, so... Grofile, what the fuck do you mean? Draw and sell paintings? That could work as well, Fidizo. You could probably do that. Like, look, there is... I'm not a huge trophy hunter guy. I was raised in a hunting family, and my dad hates trophy hunters. Like, absolutely can't fucking stand them. From my dad's perspective, you have to eat what you hunt, and you only hunt what you can eat. So, my dad has a huge problem with hunters that go and shoot, like, 50 fucking bucks at once. Because you're not going to eat all 50 of those. You're basically just committing fucking murder at that point. Like, you're just genociding a bunch of bucks because why not, right? So my dad has a massive problem with shit like that. And I personally have a problem with that as well. But then when you speak to these farmers that actually do hold these animals that are endangered, and thanks to them, these animals have a place to exist. If you took hunting away from them, they would personally kill all of these animals. Because they're expensive as fuck. Like, you need so much space. For one elephant, it's ridiculous how much space one elephant needs. And we're talking about space in terms of to have enough food for it to eat so that it doesn't starve. It's ridiculous how much it needs. But Grofal, no. We have lions. So we have all big five, the whole big five. Lions, leopards, elephants, rhinoceros, excuse me, and hippopotamus, and giraffes, and zebras, and fucking yeah. Basically, the only thing we don't have here is tigers, and we don't have panthers or wolves. Like, basically, all of the very cold animals, we don't have those. Not as much. Not in South Africa. In other parts of Africa, hippos can get problematic. But in South Africa itself, not really. We have wild dogs, yeah. The rare African tiger. We have wild boars, yeah. The one we have here, is called a flockfar. So that's the one we have here. That's the boar we have here. Silver camping is like probably one of the number one things. People love fucking camping. My dad and my stepmom, once a year, they cross the border into Botswana. And then in Botswana, you go camping in what they call open camps. So these are camps that have no wires around them, nothing. And my dad told us they were lying in bed one night and literally a couple of fucking feet from their tent, a lion just naturally just chilling, walking through the camp. And then the thing fucking growled, like proper growl. And it was, my dad said, you have no idea how fucking loud that actually is. Like you think, oh, it's just a growl. The roar is like almost eardrum bursting loud. Like you're talking about putting your hands over your ears just to try and protect it. That's how loud it is. Elephants that walk through the camps because, you know, they know it's there. It's fine. Now, obviously, everyone have guns, right? So should shit kick off, they'll start shooting. But these are open area camps, and you can literally go camp there in those tents. So no, camping is a huge thing here. Fuck predators, bro. People want to live in nature. How can you fall asleep, though? When you realize that most of these wildlife, right? Most of the wildlife are probably more afraid of you than what you are of them. I think it gets easier. Because unless the lion is actually starving, it's probably not going to attack you, right? If it's starving, sure. And there are times where they don't allow you to go camp because, you know, maybe there's some droughts and so food could be scarce. And then they'll say, no, you can't come camping here. But for the most part, if the lion can get other food, because remember, you're not their fucking food source, right? As much as you might think you're delicious, for the lion, not really. You're not really what it cares to eat. Roaming Firebrand, I'm right there with you, right? That's why when you do go camping, you're warned not to like do anything sudden, not to make too much noise, not to like there's certain things you don't have to do because shouldn't do because you don't want to startle the wildlife. The thing I'm most afraid of in Africa, and this is something that you should be aware of, who asked about the Kruger National Park? So a quick tip for anyone that ever wants to come to South Africa and specifically want to go camping in South Africa. Every morning, before you put on your shoes, you take your shoes, right? You hold it like this with the open where you put your foot in, right? Like this. And you stomp it against the floor. So you literally stomp it against the floor and then you turn it out, right? So that whatever is inside will fall out. Because scorpions like to climb into your shoe and then just be there. You put your foot into that fucking shoe while a scorpion is in there, it's not going to be fun. That thing will fuck you up. Spiders as well, but the thing you're most afraid of is scorpions. And then at night, before you get into your bed, take all of the linen, everything off. Make sure, because I'll tell you guys a quick story. Woman at the, we were camping on a hunting trip with my dad years ago. This was like super, super long ago. This was back when I still hunted. We were on this farm, and then this guy told us the story. They had a lady and her husband from America. A few months before we got there, they were there, and the one night they get into bed and she's lying in bed, and she feels this really cold thing brushing up against her leg, and she kicks it, and she's like, after a while of kicking it, she turns to her husband and she's like, "Could you please stop putting your feet against me? Because they're cold and I don't like it." And he's like, "My feet isn't anywhere near you." And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, my feet isn't anywhere near you." And she's like, "Then what is touching my leg?" She jumps out of the bed, and in the bed is I can't remember what it was. Was it a rattlesnake? A rattlesnake or a puff adder had climbed, like literally gotten into the bed and was lying there for warmth. And she was just fucking like acting as if it's her husband's feet. So yeah, you want to make sure, take off the sheets, check if there's snakes, check under the bed, make sure there's no snakes, and then you can, do your thing. That's only true if you go camping, though. You don't have to do that if you live in the cities. It's very rare that you will find snakes and shit in the city. Two more, only if they feel threatened. Like I said, I don't think it was a rattlesnake. I think it was either a puff. I know it wasn't a black mamba. Because black mamba, the reason I know it wasn't a black mamba, they are very nervous snakes, and they will absolutely strike. Like, if you just got into the bed with a fucking black mamba, it would instantly strike you, right? Because they're not actually aggressive, they're nervous. They're incredibly nervous snakes. So the second you get between it and its nest, it's gonna strike. It is just gonna fucking take the fight to you. Because it actually just wants to get out of your way. Like, it wants to get away from you, but you're standing between it and its nest. Even if you don't know it, it's gonna be like, well, fuck it. If I can't go around you, I'm going through you. And they're pretty good at it. It may actually have been a spitting cobra. No, it was just a cobra, not a spitting cobra. It was a cobra, I think it was. Wait, here we have a fish that when you pee in the water, he enters in your pee-pee and raise spikes. Raise spikes is in push out spikes into your fucking pee-pee hole. At that point, they may as well kill me. There's no point in living anymore. I'm a parasite fish that hunts other fish by the area they excrete from gills. Fucking hell. Turn into spikes into your pee-pee hole. The gray Idaho, bro. It's called the Mundu in the South American Colombian rivers all the way. Fuck me. That would be like, I'd rather die. No point in living. Guess what? They're gonna cut off your pee-pee. And is it really worth living if you don't have a penis anymore? We don't have bears, no. The problem is, for bears, it is way too hot. Like, even our coldest, like, the only place bears would probably be able to survive here would be in the Northern Cape. There's one town in the Northern Cape that gets like -20 during winter, -25 during winter. So they could probably live there, but the town is in the middle of a fucking desert. So the bear would have literally nothing to eat. It would only be the temperature that's fine for it. But we don't have, South Africa doesn't have the climate for bears. Bears, moose, bison, all of them would struggle here. It's way too hot. Way too hot. I know because there's a farm relatively close to me, about 2 hours away, that have bison because they sell bison meat. And they have to do a lot. Like, they have to shear them literally once a year to get rid of all the excess hair. And even then, sometimes the bison can overheat as a result of the heat year. So it's sort of like a weird... it just wouldn't work well. No idea of context. Amelia, how you doing? I'm 100% sure the Asian black bear can live in SA. Well, considering it's called the Asian black bear, I'm going to say it's probably not in Africa, unless somehow South Africa has now become part of Asia. But maybe it could. But don't bears require, like, colder months because they go into hibernation, right? Should watch out for what, Aragos? Do you have drop bears? I don't know. Not the Asian black bear. That's why I think that. They love warm climates. See, the other problem with tropical climates. So, the tropical area of South Africa is also fairly small. Where would be tropical? So, tropical would be... this area, KwaZulu-Natal. This would be considered tropical. It's quite a ways away from me, though. I think probably 2-day drive. They have a fairly tropical... No. This is KwaZulu-Natal. The Cape of Good Hope is where I live. This is KwaZulu-Natal. And they have a more tropical... Like, they are over there. That's KwaZulu-Natal. I'm over here, the Western Cape. And the Cape of Good Hope is the capital city of the Western Cape. The Northern Cape over here is desert. Like, desert as fuck. But this is where all of the bananas come from KwaZulu-Natal. Like, they... massive banana plantations. This is a place that I still want to go to. I was there when I was a very small child. And my parents took me there because I had asthma, and the doctor said that it may help with asthma. But this place, like, look at this, bro. It's called the Drakensberg Mountains. Fucking look at that, man. I still really want to fucking go there. Whenever you make that gaming studio, this seems like a cool zone to implicate. Dude, this place during winter actually has snow on the tops, like on the mountain tops. That's how high you can go up. During the hike, you go literally above the cloud cover. But that's the whole range there. I really fucking one day want to go to the Drakensberg. Dude, South Africa, I will say this. I think, and I don't want to sound like a fucking spokesperson for my country here, because my country has a lot of fucking bad shit, but I do think my country is worth at least visiting once in your life. Like, the amount of shit that's here, and pretty much every, like, the worst province here, the only province no one should ever go to is the Free State. There's fuck all there, and you can literally see your retirement while in the Free State. Like, you can see your retirement coming closer. That's how flat that fucking place is. Let's see if we can get Free State pictures. It is ridiculous, bro. Like, it is flat as fuck. It has no mountains. It just has these little, like kind of rolling hills, but not really even rolling hills. It's just flat, bro. You can just see right into the distance as far as you want to go. And then the Northern Cape, I drove through this, which was an incredible experience. Yeah, this is the Northern Cape, but this is just during one specific time of the year. This is they call it something about the flower festival. During a very specific time of the year, the flowers bloom, and then you get these like desert flowers that's just all the colors of the fucking rainbow. But this is the Northern Cape. It's complete desert. It's our largest province, but it's like the least inhabited province as well, because there's basically fuck all. I believe this may be the Kimberley. Yeah, this is the Kimberley hole, which is the largest man-made hole in the history. Oh, in the world. Used to be a diamond mine. Now it's just filled up with fucking water. I don't know why people go there, but they do go there. Also the poorest province in the country. Very, very poverty-stricken. I believe there's the desert runs through here. The Namibian desert runs through here as well. And then my province, where I come from originally, looks like this. It's what we call the bushveld, right? So if you want like proper South African bush, you want to go to the Northern Province or Mpumalanga. Those would be what you would refer to as the bush. Trying to see if there's a better picture of this. There's not much to see in Limpopo. There, probably the picture that does it, like, shows you at least something you can see there. Yeah, the bush is beautiful. It has its own allure, I guess you could say. These are I believe, some of the largest trees in the world. It's called the Kremetart tree. Kremetartboom. And there's actually one of these trees has an entire bar inside of it. Like, they grow in Limpopo. These massive, massive fucking trees. I saw there's one of them with like, there you go. Look at all those people standing in front of it. They're huge. Pringles, no. Not really. The world I'm crafting is... Oh, here it is. Look at this fucking tree, bro. Look at the fucking size of this thing. But Pringles, no. The world that I'm creating is a lot more fucked up. So images like this wouldn't really work in it, except for like one of the forests that I have is sort of inspired by a little bit of the northern, like a little bit of the Western Cape, but also a little bit of Limpopo. But the forest itself is far more fucked than that, right? So, are there elves inside? No, I don't know. Near me, the one place that everyone always says you have to go to is this place. This is near me, or near-ish to me. It's called the Neisner Woods. And at one point, it was almost completely destroyed. And then they brought it back from the fucking brink. But yeah, this is like... I think this is the only, like, what we would call, like, proper... almost like what you guys have, you know, like proper forest, like what you guys have in the US, for example. I think this is pretty much the closest we have to it. Wood, growing firebat. When the early settlers came here, this was sort of like the best place to get wood. So they chopped the fuck out of all of the trees to get wood, right? Yeah, it's like a garden route. It is a national park now. It is protected. So you have garden routes and you have these little like places you can stay at. Like if you want to stay over, you have these little cabins that's built all over the forests. And they warn you. Don't be careful. Yeah, these are what we would call glamping, right? Like if you wanna go camping, but you want all of the amenities of a rich person, you would stay in these places. Because you're camping, but you're not really camping. You know, you have aircon and you have television and everything you need, but they're all over. Like most of these places have been, I would say this: if you want completely untouched nature, the Northern Province and probably Mpumalanga is your best bet because it's completely untouched, right? Because they haven't really figured out how to like super monetize it, whereas most of these iconic places like the Neisner Woods, they've been completely commercialized. But it's a beautiful country. And if you're not from South Africa, if you're spending in dollars or euros, bro, you could literally have the cheapest holiday of your life coming to South Africa. Is Dixie acting up? It's definitely on my bucket list in the next 5 years. I think you'd love it. It's especially cool if you're coming and you know that you don't have to deal with all of the bullshit, right? Because you're only going to be here for a short while, and then you're going to go back home where everything works. Where, you know, like the first time you experience load shedding, you'll know why you want to go home and eventually go home at least. Although I must say, there's a fuck ton of people that moved to Cape Town recently, especially with remote work. There's like a lot more Europeans and Americans that live in Cape Town now because it's so much cheaper. I met a guy just the other day, I think last week, a week before last week, actually. I met a guy that he's from America, from, is it Washington State? I think he said. And he moved to Cape Town 6 months ago. In Washington State, he was like barely surviving. And then he moved to South Africa, and now he lives like a fucking king. In America, he told me he was living in an apartment with two other dudes because that's all he could afford. He moved to South Africa because he got a new job, and this job allowed him to work from home. So he moved to Cape Town because it has always been his plan. He wanted to move to Cape Town because he met a girl that's from Cape Town. So I think he came here for a girl. But now he lives in like a 3-bedroom apartment with an ocean view. He's like living his best fucking life on what in America would be considered a very mid salary. Here is considered to be like on the high end of salaries. Are Americans horrible tourists there too? No. No, the Americans that I've met, the only difference between, like, I should say, remember, American culture is very similar to like Afrikaans, or even like English like white people culture. It's a very similar culture because the origins are very similar. Both groups, both countries come from the same groups of people. One group decided to go to America, the other group decided to come to South Africa, but they come from the same stock, sort of, out of Europe, right? It's both like people who were basically starving in Europe that decided, fuck it, let's try our luck somewhere else. So I would say culturally we're relatively close enough that they don't really bother us. Not really. I mean, you get your obnoxious tourists pretty much everywhere, but I wouldn't call Americans worse than most other. Um, yeah, no, they're fine. But I don't know. We have like Western Cape, for example, has its entire industry is tourism. You know, it's like this entire province that I live in is just built on tourism. Remember my people yet? The Chinese tourists? We don't get a lot of Asian tourists. This is true. It has started to change in the last few years, but not so much tourism. More, we've had an influx of Asian people moving to South Africa. And when I say influx, I mean it went from 1 to 3. It's not like influx as in, oh shit, lots and lots of Asians, but more and more like each year, I guess you could say, but still very, 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 like, not really noticeable. And when you do meet, like, I've only once met Chinese tourists. They're very quiet and they don't really talk to anyone, so you barely notice them. Like, whether they're there or not, you don't know. From out of towners, Or to speak in general, it's the people themselves. Some are cool, some are not. Yeah, I would say, like, I think on average, America probably has more obnoxious tourists than other nations, probably. But that could also just be the case that there are just more Americans than most other nations. So, you know, you're going to get good people and you're going to get bad people. It doesn't really matter. You also just have more tourists. Yeah, like definitely, I think the overwhelming majority, like I'm not entirely sure, but I think America makes up the vast majority of tourists to South Africa. Either that or England, but I'm not even sure how the fuck I would go about searching that. Okay, let's see. International tourist arrivals in Cape Town. Okay, in the first 5 months of 2022, most international tourists arriving by plane in Cape Town came from the United Kingdom. Approximately 45,000 visitors were British, whereas roughly 39,000 and 22,000 originated from Germany and the United States, respectively. So clearly, the United Kingdom people come here the most, coming to visit their former colony, seeing at what they lost. So yeah, the UK makes up the most, and then Germany second, and then the United States third. People in the USA are usually customers king, and that can create problems in countries who did not give a fuck about that. Fractured pixel, pretty much, yeah. The British, every single fucking year, they just have to come check, like, just looking for a kink in the armor, you know? Like, are they ready yet for a new colony? Nah, they're fine. We'll come back later. Like, every year, the British send about 45,000 spies just to come check out South Africa and see, is there a way back in? Charles wants to increase his kingdom size. Stizzlebear, the Dutch never officially had a colony in South Africa. They had a colony insofar as they had a colony in the Cape, but not South Africa as a whole. And the colony in the Cape was really just an outpost. It was the British that arrived. This is part of where the problem started, right? So the way it worked was the Dutch set up an outpost for the ships that sailed across the point of Africa, right? So that they could refuel, get some food, get everything resorted, and then go on. So now a bunch of farmers and people from Europe start moving to South Africa, and they all sort of live in the Western Cape. But they had a pretty interesting relationship with the Dutch, insofar as the Dutch kind of went, look, we're not going to rule you, and we're not going to tell you what you can and cannot do. Like, you guys are just free people. You can do whatever the fuck you want. That's literally what they called themselves, the free folk. They were completely free. They had no king, no country. And then when the British conquered the Dutch effectively, the Dutch handed them South Africa as if it was theirs to hand over. And this is where the first problem started, because now you had a bunch of people in South Africa living in the Cape that were previously without a king, and they're suddenly informed, no, by the way, you have a king now. And so those people were like, the fuck? The fuck, we have a king. And so they set up shop and they left, and they moved further inward, like further north into the country. And then at first the British was sort of fine with this, like, whatever, you know, they're going inland. And then the people that went inland discovered gold, and then the British were like, oh, actually, never mind, we're taking it all. And so the people in the country were like, you can't just take this. This is ours. We found it first. And the British were like, no, we don't think so. This is clearly ours. We were here first. And they're like, no, you weren't. We were here long before you. And so massive wars happened. and that's how, that's basically how that shit started. So yeah, it was like a big fuck up. But yeah. Zagold Milano. But no, the Dutch never officially colonized it, although a lot of Dutch people do live in South Africa. The French also had a bit of a foothold here. The Portuguese had a bit of a foothold here, although small. The Arabs had a bit of a foothold here, although again small. Like a few nations that came to South Africa and sort of tried to lay claim to at least parts of it. But yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole fucking thing. Their good old colony. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I genuinely thought that it was more Americans than British. Like, I'm genuinely surprised at that. I don't know why I thought it's more Americans. Maybe because I just see more Americans. Although I do see a lot of British people as well. Although sometimes it can be a little deceptive because the English dialect spoken in the Western Cape, unless you're actually having a conversation, can sometimes mimic, at least to some extent. If you're just like passing by, it can mimic some areas in the UK. But although once you have a conversation, you go, oh, never mind. You're clearly not from South Africa. You're not using the right swear words. The lot of Americans go Africa for trophy hunting. Americans are definitely the biggest group of hunters. That's true. But they're also the most loved hunters. So this I can speak on. I know the hunting scene pretty well because I grew up in it. South African ranchers, as you guys would call them, I guess. I don't know what the fuck the word would be for someone that farms with wildlife. But they love American hunters. They don't mind German hunters. They fucking hate Spanish hunters. Let's say it this. They have a love-hate relationship with German hunters. They hate the Spanish hunters. And they love the American hunters. Van Onkerton, no. Americans have a very similar view to South Africans when it comes to hunting. So when Americans come to hunt here, this is at least the stories that I've been told. When Americans come to hunt, they usually come with like a clear goal. I want to shoot this, this, and this. Right? And they'll tell you ahead of time, I want to shoot this, this, and this. And they kill only what they came to shoot, and then they go home. Spanish show up, and they basically go on a fucking killing spree. Like, they literally imagine themselves in doom, and every single one of the deer needs to die as fucking quickly as possible. So the Spanish will oftentimes kill anywhere from like 25 to 40, 50 bucks in a single hunting trip. And then the Germans can also be a little bit over fucking eager. Not quite as bad as the Spanish, but where the farmers sometimes have a problem with the Germans is they say the Germans are unfriendly. So the Germans also like to kill a bit, but the Germans are also unfriendly at the same time, which I guess is like a cultural clash between... because South Africans are pretty friendly people. Like, overwhelmingly, South Africans are incredibly friendly people. And the Germans are more just like to the point, business first, you know? Sort of thing. But yeah, apparently the Spanish love to fucking murder. I don't think it's the Spaniards that they hate. I think it's the Spanish hunters that they hate. We have fuck tons of Spanish people and Portuguese people here. So I'm pretty sure they don't hate the Spanish people or the Portuguese people. They just don't like the hunters. Going on a deer murdering spree, lol. Yeah, I can imagine that actually. Epic Thulu, yeah. So they're also usually, and this I will say, although I don't mean it as offensive to anyone, but I will say one of the things they fucking loathe about Spanish hunters is they're not often very good shots. So what ends up happening, and if you want to see a farmer lose his fucking shit, it's when you shoot something and you do not kill that thing. Like the farmers there's actually fines in South Africa that farmers will make you pay, and oftentimes they'll make you pay double if you shoot an animal but you do not kill it. Because now the animal's suffering, which now means that this farmer and the people that work for him is gonna have to scour the farm looking for this animal that you fucking just injured because you couldn't fucking shoot. Whereas Americans are good shots, so it rarely happens. Yeah, Chris, there's like so for example, the last time I did go hunting, but this was a long time ago, the farmer had, like, when we got there, he laid down the law and he was like, okay, so here's the deal. If you shoot at an animal, whether you hit that animal or not, you instantly pay for the animal. If you take a shot, like a single shot, you've instantly paid for the animal. Because this guy's problem was you shooting obviously upsets the animals, right? You've obviously just instilled fear in those animals. So he's going to charge you the full price of the animal, whether you've hit it or not. If you've hit it, right, so they can find blood, but the thing isn't there, it's double. You're going to pay twice. Because you've scared the animal, and now you've wounded the animal, so they're now going to have to go look for the fucking animal to try and put it out of its misery. So it's very strict. Very, very strict on what you are and aren't allowed to do. And then you get the Spanish that just show up and go, handre, handre. You know, just fucking, let's go, boys. Let's fucking shoot this. Just lining up. Just shoot as many things as you fucking can. Let's go. Like 10 guys just standing there with machine guns. Don't do it in Spain. I would assume that. I mean, look, if you're an American, I would say the assumption would be if you're an American that want to come hunt in South Africa, you're probably a hunter in America already, right? So there's a very good chance that you're already a hunter because there's a lot of hunting spots in America. I know because there's a lot of South Africans that go to America to go fucking hunt, right? Because you have different deer and shit that you can shoot there. So that's not really true for European nations. Most European nations don't have as much wildlife, so there's a good chance that you want to hunt, and this may be the first time ever that you're going to come hunt, and you're going to come do it in South Africa because, well, you don't want to shoot birds, you know, in Europe. So I would assume that's probably what it is. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know exactly what the ins and outs is of it. I just know this is what farmers have told me. This is how they feel about it. All right, boys, fuck it. I'm going to go watch the LEC now. But this time for real, I know for a fact it's the LEC today. I know it for a fact because I can see it. Let me just make sure. Yep.
See what happens on the rift as we send it back to casters for Heretics BDS.
It's about to start. It's about to start, boys.
Thank you very much, Lore. Moments away now from game 2. Some spicy drafts. Always nice to see the Garen locked in.
Who won the first fucking game?
Not really showing us much about where Wonder wants to go with his build. Just very standard for the lane phase. But
I missed the
historically, when we've
first
seen
game,
metas with
chat.
both Lethality,
Wow,
Bards,
you guys
and Ezreal
fucking
have-
cost me the
have
first
been-
game.
It's been a lot about who can get mid push first.
Can't believe that.
And Ezreal, obviously, you have the ultimate. Varus, you have piercing. Eat an entire
the Rumble ultimate. Every time Adam is getting such high value from
lane. Can he collapse? Can Team Heretics
Oh
just
man,
force a Baron?
BDS fucking won. The French won, really? Really, Team Heretics, you lost against the fucking French?
make sure that you have to defend your
Oh,
next turn
you
as,
mother.
Heretics, or even your inhibitor, and then Nuke just takes top tower. So even though you got the dragon,
Dude, imagine
it's
losing
still
to the
falling,
French.
your fingers. Yanko's going to try and jump onto Nuke in that top side, but he's backed away. And now BDS are just threatening that last Nexus turret.
BDS isn't really
Taking the
French,
top
by
lane.
the way. Just their top laner that's French. I don't like their top laner. He's a fucking asshole. And I don't want them to win because they're the most boring fucking team in the LEC. I'm a little triggered that they won the first game. It is best of 3, though, so Team Heretics does have the opportunity. Although they got fucking wasted, bro. At 31 minutes, 11k gold behind. Man, that's some disgusting bullshit. Like, how are you 11k behind Team Heretics at 31 minutes? Hey, what the fuck went wrong? Anyways, sorry guys, I'm getting a little triggered, just ever so slightly. No, but I really appreciate all of you for coming out, for hanging out with me, for spending your day with me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Well, it's LEC again tomorrow, so it will be shorter streams over the weekends, just because it's, you know, it's LEC, and I want to watch that. But I really appreciate all of you, ladies and gentlemen. As always, be kind to each other, be good to each other, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.